All right, thank you guys for coming out here today. We're going to talk about hypothermia. It's one of the many cold weather injuries that we have to look forward to this winter. We're getting into these cold months, so there's a couple things you really need to look out for, especially with your elderly people and your children and these infants, okay? So what we're doing, anytime someone has hypothermia, that's when their body temperature is getting lower than 96.8. That's the normal body temperature. Anything below that, we're talking even 95, they're considering that hypothermic. There are certain stages to hypothermia. We've got mild, moderate, and severe. The mild stage, that's when you're still between 95 and like 92 degrees. That's where they're shivering, they're obviously cold. Again, that's something easy. We just get them out of the cold. No permanent damage should be done to that person. The moderate stages, that's from like 92 to around the 88 scale. That's when they're getting a little bit worse. They're going to start shivering a lot more. You're going to start seeing a little bit of blue color in their skin, their fingertips. They're going to start not being able to really use all of their motor functions in their hands. Won't be able to grip or do fine motor functions, okay? So again, that stage, we're just going to bring them inside. We're going to monitor them. We're going to make sure they're getting warmer. We're going to get that body temperature up, okay? So with severe, that's anything below 88. That's when it's starting to get really bad. You're going to see this person stop shivering. They're going to just completely, they're going to look super tired, stop shivering, be very blue. That person, you need to get them to a medical provider as soon as possible. That person, once they're that cold, all of their organs are going to start to take all the blood into their chest. It's called shunting. And from there, they're not going to be able to properly heat their body back up. All it's doing is going into defense mode to where it's going to keep their body, all the important organs, safe, okay? So with that, we're going to try two different types of heating with these people. In the mild to moderate category, we're going to get them inside. We're going to try to passively warm them up. That's getting them in a warm room, just regular blankets. We're going to cover them up. If they were wet, we're going to take their clothes off and we're going to warm them up just with those blankets in that warm room, that warm climate, okay? Because that's the main issue with hypothermia, is getting them out of the elements. With severe, that's where you need to call some type of medical provider, and they're going to do what's called active warming, where they're using warm blankets, they're going to be pushing warm IVs, they're going to be doing everything possible to warm this person up as fast as possible, because you have to get your body temperature up to a normal standard pretty quick before you have any type of permanent damage. So with that, some things that you can do to prevent hypothermia is with small infants, you want to put extra layers on, probably more than you would wear. Where they're so small, their body can't produce enough heat to maintain that high body temperature in these cold climates. Same thing with elderly people. If they have to be out, get them in, get them out, get them where they need to be as fast as possible, and keep them with those extra layers. So normal adults, we're pretty good at maintaining our body temperature with just regular jackets, long pants, you know, your normal winter attire. Anybody have any questions, anything? You look like you have a question.
At what temperature does your body start to develop hypothermia?
Well, the book is going to say anything below 95 and below. But again, if you worked in a clinic at all or anything like that, you're going to see a lot of elderly people come in with those temperatures. That does not necessarily mean they're hypothermic. You kind of got to think a little bit. Have they been outside in these cold climates for longer than, say, your normal, just walking from the car into the building? You got to think about it just a little bit, but the book says anything under 95, but if they're shivering, they're turning blue, you need to get them inside pretty quick. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
What if I fall in the water?
Okay, so again, like we were saying earlier, you got a person, if they're super wet, you want to get them inside, get those clothes off as fast as possible, because that water is going to absorb all that heat before their body can, so it can disperse it to their limbs and all of that. If someone falls into water and you aren't near anything, like say you're on a boat, you want to get them up there, cover them up with whatever you have. that's not wet. Make sure it's not wet. That's the main issue. If someone's wet out in the cold, get them to a dry climate, get them inside, get them warm. That's the main thing we're looking for here. So in conclusion, it's getting real cold these next couple months. Make sure you're dressing appropriately, wearing your jackets, making sure you're keeping your infants, your children, put extra layers on them, and same with the elderly people. Thank you.